Hello, my loves. This is Ieva and welcome to the Talks with Ieva podcast, a place where we explore manifestation, mindset, healing, transformation, and so much more. See this as your dose of mindset development to help you on the journey of becoming the best version of yourself. I'm so excited for today's episode and thank you so much for pushing play. So let's begin. Hi guys, I hope you're all doing really well. My name is Ieva and welcome back to my podcast, the Talks with Ieva podcast. Today we're going to be talking about dreams and what is standing in the way of your dreams. So we're going to dive deep today, and I know it's been a while that I did my last podcast episode, but there's been so much going on that I feel I will definitely one day share with you. But for now, I'm going to give you everything that I have, especially when it comes down to this topic. So first and foremost, I hope everyone that is listening does have dreams and goals that they want to achieve in their life. And that can be as big as building a family, getting pregnant, getting married, finding a job that they feel just so happy about, or getting in their dream shape, or traveling or visiting certain countries, or getting a dog, or whatever it might be that they feel they want to achieve in their lives. And it can be as crazy and scary and strange. It can be anything that you desire, right? So I hope that everyone who is listening does have dreams. And if you don't have dreams and desires, then I am here to nudge you and to push you into dreaming and thinking about what it is that you want in your life and really listening to your heart, because that is where the dreams come from. Okay, so what it is that you desire, what is it that you want for yourself? So almost everyone does have dreams. Sometimes we share them with other people, sometimes we don't share them with other people. But for some people, they seem to give up on their dreams because they feel like it's unrealistic for them, or they feel like they're not going to achieve those dreams. And I am here to tell you that you can achieve those dreams. And I know it might sound cliche, but that is the truth. And I'm going to tell you today what is standing between you and your dreams. So for one, as I said, it's very important to have dreams. And if you dream big, depending on whatever it is you want, you might feel like you don't deserve whatever it is that you want. And the reason you might feel that way is most likely, I mean 99% likely, that your limiting beliefs are in the way of you achieving those dreams. If you feel like you do not deserve something, you are not going to be getting it. That is the bottom line. If you feel like you can't do it, you will not be able to do it. If you feel like you're not smart enough to achieve something, then you're not going to achieve it, or you might achieve it with a lot of unnecessary hardship. If you feel that you are not good enough to be with someone, to have a relationship with someone, to build a family, to get a certain job because you don't have that exact degree that they're looking for, but you have a degree, or you feel like you're just not good enough, or you're just not worth that pay if you're looking for a job. If you feel that way, then that is the truth that you are telling yourself, and you are completely holding yourself back. Everyone has limiting beliefs. Everyone has beliefs that are negative about themselves and their lives. Sometimes we just don't realize what they are. Sometimes we don't notice them. Sometimes we do notice them because they're repeating. It is important to pay attention to what negative things you tell yourself on a daily basis. If you look at yourself in the mirror and you're telling yourself, oh, I've gained so much weight, I am definitely not pretty anymore, for example, then that's what you're telling your body. You're telling your body, I am constantly gaining weight. I do not feel pretty. I do not feel good. You cannot speak to yourself negatively like that. If you look at a happy couple or a couple who has a family, and you tell yourself, oh, I'm never going to have that. Am I ever going to have that? That seems so unrealistic to me. If that voice crosses your mind, or if those thoughts cross your mind, it means that you have negative beliefs towards this, and you have to figure out why you have that. Were you told that you cannot attain this? Were you told that you're not pretty enough? Were you told that you're not smart enough? Do you believe that it is just impossible for you to have whatever it is that you desire, even though other people have it on a daily basis? Why is that belief there? And most likely it is because it has been formed through your childhood, through your adolescence, and through your experiences. Now, I am not here to say that just start thinking differently and everything will be fine, because that's ridiculous. If it was that easy, then everyone would have their dream life, their dream everything, right? But if you pay attention to the little details that your mind is telling you, especially if they're negative, and if you work against that consciously, it will make a difference. Everything needs to, however, be a habit in order for it to really become reality and permanent. So if you, for example, constantly see a family and you're single and you want a family and it's something that you desire, and you question your ability to have a relationship and have a family, then ask yourself, why is that? Do you feel like you're not good enough? Do you feel like you're not pretty enough? Do you feel like every relationship you have just falls apart? Do you feel like your mom was in a toxic relationship and you're bound to have that type of relationship? If you feel that way, then you have to work on your belief system, because having a family and being happy has nothing to do with the way that you look. And it actually has nothing to do with your parents' relationship. Because the life that you choose to live does not have to be the same as your past experiences. So you have to let go of whatever is holding you back and live with what you have now and make the best out of it. So ask yourself, what am I telling myself that is negative? And even if it's the smallest of things, write it down, pay attention to it, and start analyzing it. Sometimes it's difficult to figure out where exactly those limiting beliefs come from. You'd have to go to therapy, etc., to find out more about them. And that's just not for everyone. I do work with clients and we figure out where they do come from. I'm not a therapist, of course, but there are ways of figuring out where negative beliefs come from, and how we can turn them around into positive beliefs. And we make a recording, and the client listens to that recording daily and starts to subconsciously reprogram her mind into having positive beliefs instead. But without getting into a coaching session with you now, what I can tell you that will help you is to start noticing those negative things that you say to yourself. And when you catch them, turn them around into positive things. Turn them around into a positive saying. If you're not good at something, but you want to be good at something, then you practice and you tell yourself, practice makes perfect, and I'm getting better day by day. Right? Or if you want to have a relationship and build a family, etc., you have to tell yourself, this is completely possible for me. You know why it's possible for you? Because other people have it. It's normal. It's natural to have a happy relationship. It's God's way. It's normal, So it means it's attainable, right? If it's attainable for other people, it is attainable for you. It might take a shorter period of time. It might take a longer period of time. You might have to learn lessons along the way, and you might have to get coaching. You might have to read books. You might have to learn things about yourself. But your desires are attainable for you. It just comes down to, are you willing to put in the work that is necessary for you to change some aspects in your life? And if you are willing to do the work, then you will get the results, right? So don't ever stop dreaming. Don't ever stop thinking that something is impossible for you. Your desires and dreams are very possible. You just have to have a plan of how you're going to attain them. And you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention to the monologue you are having in your mind and the thoughts that you are telling yourself. They create the reality that you live in. They create everything. We have 80,000, 70,000 thoughts a day crossing our minds. And 70, 80% of those thoughts keep repeating themselves? And if you have repeating thoughts that are negative, you are going to take action on those negative thoughts without even noticing it. The thoughts that we have, they become our reality, whether we want it or not, right? So we really have to analyze and pay attention to what we're telling ourselves. If you tell your friend, you're not going to be good enough, you're not going to be this, you're not going to be that, and they hear that daily, very subtly, obviously they're going to start feeling that way, because it's very difficult to work against that and power through against that, especially if you don't notice it and if you accept it as your reality, right? So if you're doing that to yourself, not to your friend, but to yourself, obviously those are the reasons, those are very big reasons why you simply might not be attaining the things that you desire. So think about what it is that you desire in your life. Think about, are you on the path of attaining these things? Or do you simply feel like this is something I want, but I believe that it's not possible for me? And if that is the case, there is a reason why. And you have to be very open-minded in figuring out what are the negative beliefs around it. And sometimes it can have a lot to do with trauma, past relationships. A lot of people who want to be in healthy relationships have difficulty being in those relationships because of narcissistic parents, because of seeing their parents be in very toxic relationships and accepting that as the truth, that they're not capable of having a healthy relationship simply because their parents didn't have one. And this might seem silly, but when you're a child growing up and when your subconscious mind forms and you see these things, you start believing these things to be the truth. And only when you're older do a lot of women then, or men, have difficulty being in a relationship because they grew up in extremely toxic households, and maybe they're afraid to be in a relationship, or they're afraid to trust a man, or they're afraid to, whatever. There are reasons, a lot of deep reasons why people act the way that they act and don't have what they want to have, right? And there are ways to work around it. And as I said, if you want to get one-on-one coaching with me and talk deeper on these topics, then you can find more information on that in the description section of this podcast episode. And you can just reach out to me on Instagram, which is Your Mind is Heaven, and you'll find all my details in the description section as well. But today I just want to tell you that you can attain your dreams. Don't stop dreaming. Don't stop being positive. And try to do the first steps of doing the work. Right? Thinking about what beliefs do I have around these things? Why have they maybe formed? And what can I start telling myself on a daily basis instead? And those are the first steps. And you will start feeling differently about those things. You will start seeing shifts. It might be difficult at first, but those are the first steps. So make sure the things that you're telling yourself, that they're positive. And if you're catching yourself telling yourself negative things about your desires or whatever it is that you want to attain in your life, then catch those negative thoughts and flip them around into positives, even if you don't believe it straight away. Because that might be the case. Because you've been telling yourself something completely different for a lot of years. And hearing something positive in a certain direction might be a shocker. But you have to keep at it and form a belief around it. Right? Have simple notes on your phone, background of your phone, whatever, in your notepad, in a sketchbook, whatever, of positive quotes, positive ideas around whatever it is that you want to desire, and be open for opportunity. Those are the first steps in attaining whatever it is that you want to desire. If you liked this episode, then definitely let me know. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I will get back to you. And as I said, you can either reach out to me via my website, which is down below in the description section. You can comment on this video or just write to me over Instagram. Just send me a DM. And my Instagram is Your Mind is Heaven. And thank you so much for listening. I really hope you enjoyed this episode just as much as I enjoyed recording it. And I cannot wait to speak to you next time. And take care. Until then, bye. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you loved what you heard, make sure to leave me a review. Come and connect with me on Instagram at Your Mind is Heaven. Join my free Facebook group, The Heaven on Earth Community, for some mind-blowing content. Or check out Ieva. on YouTube. Can't wait to connect with you. Until next time, bye!